What's up guys, Apple just wrapped up their October 22nd event where they announced some new stuff. In this video I'm going to be doing my recap, telling you everything they announced, going over all the stuff. We're going to get to the new iPads they announced, but first I want to start with OS X Mavericks. Mavericks is going to be more efficient and better just all around. When you're using something, whatever your front window is, if you've got windows behind it, your memory, your graphics, and your battery is not going to be used by those applications sitting in the background that you can't see. It's only going to be using what's up front. So the battery life is going to be greatly improved. They said with the MacBook Air, you're supposed to be able to get an hour of extra web browsing or an hour and a half of iTunes video playback with Mavericks. So if you update to Mavericks, you're going to get better battery life because it's only using what is actually showing up front, not what's running in the background. The way it handles memory now is the stuff you're not using at that moment, it will compress that memory and give more memory to the stuff you are actually using at the time. And the same way with graphics, it will use graphics for the stuff you're using, and the stuff you're not using, it will lower the graphics usage on it. So it pretty much is just more efficient and better overall to give you better overall performance. There's also a lot of new features and improvements. For instance, notifications. Now you can reply to a message right in the notification when it pops up. You don't have to open the messages app, you can do it right there. There's also new Finder tabs and tags, so you can actually switch between tabs when you're in a Finder window, so you can have multiple in one window. And then also the tags is made so you can tag files and stuff like that, so you can organize and find them better. There's also a new iBooks app and a new Maps app. The new Maps app is really cool because you can pull up maps on your computer and then it'll automatically go to your iPhone, so you can do it right here at your computer, go to your car, and your maps right there. The iBooks app is sort of the same way. If you're reading on your computer, then you go to an iOS device, you can pick up where you left off. And also Mavericks is better at handling multiple displays now. There's a lot of new cool stuff and features in Mavericks, but that's some of the main ones. And Mavericks is actually going to be free and available today. So if you got a Mac running Snow Leopard, you can actually update to Mavericks right now for free. Do it. Next, let's talk about the updates to the MacBook Pro Retinas. First, we'll start out with the 13-inch. The new 13-inch MacBook Pro weighs 3.46 pounds now. It's also thinner at 0.7 of an inch. It also has the new Haswell chips with Intel Iris graphics, which is going to be up to 90% faster than the last generation. The baseline model 13-inch MacBook Pro Retina starts at 2.4 gigahertz dual core i5 with 4 gigs of memory. If you pay a little bit more for the next bump up model, it comes with 8 gigs of memory, which you can actually upgrade to 16. It also has the new Thunderbolt 2 ports. And with the 13-inch MacBook Pro Retina, you are going to get up to 9 hours of battery life. The starting price of the 13-inch model is going to be $1299, which is $200 cheaper than the last generation. Now let's move on with the new 15-inch MacBook Pro Retina, which inside has the new Intel Crystal chip with Iris Pro graphics. And the starting baseline model has 2 gigahertz quad-core i7 with 8 gigs of memory. And unfortunately, the 15-inch baseline model does not have a dedicated graphics card, but if you do upgrade, you can get the GeForce GT graphics card with that. And the 15-inch MacBook Pro Retina is supposed to get 8 hours of battery life. The price of the 15-inch model is going to start at $2,000, but if you want to bump it up to the next model, it's going to cost $2,600, so there's a pretty big bump there. Both the 13 and the 15-inch MacBook Pro Retinas start shipping today, so you can go on and order them right now. Next up is the new Mac Pro, or as I like to call it, the most expensive high-tech trash can you could ever buy. Or at least it looks that way, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It looks really nice, actually. I'm just going to run down the specs that they mention of the new Mac Pro. Obviously, a lot of these you can configure and change and update as you wish. The new Mac Pro has Intel Xeon E5 at 4, 6, 8, or 12 cores, 1866 megahertz DDR, AMD Fire Pro, dual 384-bit memory buses, up to 12 gigabytes of GDDR5 VRAM. Storage is all flash-based and up to 1 terabyte. It's got 6 Thunderbolt 2 ports, 4 USB 3.0 ports, and HDMI 1.4 for HD TVs. And what's really cool is it can actually handle up to 3 4K displays. It's also really quiet and uses up to 70% less energy than the previous Mac Pro. It was also designed and assembled right here in the United States. Now the new Mac Pro will be available in December, and it's got a starting price of $2,999, so that's $3,000. Now again, that is the starting price. You can obviously upgrade this thing to be thousands more dollars, but that is the baseline model. They've also updated their iLife iLife app. So now iMovie, iPhoto, and GarageBand has all new designs on Mavericks and iOS. So now they're all 64-bit and have iCloud syncing. iPhoto has this new feature called Photo Books, which you can upload it to Apple, they'll print it out and send it to you all from your iPad. With GarageBand, you can now add up to 16 tracks, and they've got a new feature called Drummer, which will virtually play along with your songs, and you can direct it. So again, iMovie, iPhoto, and GarageBand all have new designs. They're all available today, and they're actually free with the purchase of a new Mac or an iOS device. They've also updated their iWork app, so that means Pages, Numbers, and Keynote have all been redesigned for iOS as well as the desktop. So they're all redesigned, they run in 64-bit, and they've all got some new features. For instance, Keynote now has some new effects and animations. They've also now added collaboration, so multiple people can work on one thing at once. And again, they are all free today with the purchase of a new Mac or an iOS device. That's pretty amazing that they're making all of these new updated apps free because they made a lot of money off those, and now you can just get them when you purchase a new Mac or an iPhone. And now finally, what you've been waiting for, the new iPads. First up, the bigger iPad has now been updated and has a completely new name called the iPad Air. The new iPad Air has a thinner design, which comes in at 7.5 millimeters thin, which is 20% thinner than the previous model, and it only weighs 1 pound now, which is also 0.4 pounds lighter than the previous version. Like the iPhone 5S, the new iPad Air has Apple's A7 64-bit chip, as well as the new M7 Motion Code processor. It's also going to give you faster Wi-Fi, and it has a 5 megapixel iSight camera. It also does 1080p HD video. It's got the new FaceTime HD camera, which is going to have larger pixels, improved backside illumination, and dual microphones. And the new iPad Air is going to come in both white/silver as well as a space gray model. The 16GB Wi-Fi model is going to start at a price of $499, and the cellular version is going to start at $629. And you can still also buy the iPad 2 for a price of $399. And finally, let's move on with the new iPad Mini. The iPad Mini is now going to get a Retina display, which is going to be 2048 by 1536 pixels, which is going to be the same as the iPad Air. It's also getting Apple's 64-bit A7 chip. It is going to have faster Wi-Fi and expanded LTE support, a 5 megapixel iSight camera, a FaceTime HD camera which uses 1080p HD video, 10 hours of battery life, and just like the iPad Air, it's going to come in white/silver and space gray. And what kind of let me down about the new iPad Mini Retina is the price. It starts at $399. But if you don't mind not having a Retina display and you still want an iPad Mini, you can still get the first generation iPad Mini now for a price of $299. Both the new iPad Mini Retina and the iPad Air come in 16, 32, 64, and 128GB models. And both models will be available on November 1st. And they also announced some new smart covers, one that's $39, which comes in new colors, and then a $79 version, which is going to actually wrap around the whole iPad. But alright guys, there you go. That is everything that they announced today at the Apple event. Make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel right there. I'm going to be doing videos on possibly Mavericks. I'm definitely going to be getting both new iPads, the iPad Air and the iPad Mini Retina, doing lots of videos on that for you guys, and I may even get the new MacBook Pro Retina. I'm still deciding on the 13 or the 15-inch version. Let me know if you guys are going to be getting any of this stuff, what your thoughts are on everything they announced. Again, subscribe to my channel. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.